See, Bone. Let's see if you kick into high gear. Da 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 da. Yeah, I know. Boom. There it is. Da da. Don't know why you do that. What's up, y'all? This is your boy Sam the Crazy Man Vera flying this ship tonight dolo as my boy George the Dreamer Medina's on date night. So with that said, I do have a very special guest tonight. His name is JD Calderon. We're going to be talking about a mouse, some fairies, some ogres, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my, it's a one-on-one in-depth conversation. Let's get it!
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the Dreamer, Medina, and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze Podcast. I am your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Vera, and I am with...
Oh, you crazy.
myself. Oh, by myself. I'm going to speak. Anyway, so I'm not by myself because I have a very special guest on tonight. But George, again, like I said before, he's on date night. Candlelights, all that stuff. It's Friday. So he's doing his thing. But we got JD Calderon. But before we bring him on, I'd like to get some things out of the way first. First of all, catch the crazies, all you backers out there. The books have been coming in. You should be getting them soon. Here is the homage cover. Here is the standard cover. Here is the super backer card that you super backers are going to get. We appreciate you so very much. So you can start looking out in the mail for them because they're going to start hitting you very soon. With that said, Forbidden has landed. Forbidden, the landing page is already there on Kickstarter. Forbidden number 2, the follow-up to the preview edition, which we launched on Indiegogo successfully. So we like to get as many people to support this Forbidden campaign because it's fire. It's the first time we're going to have original art up for grabs. Original art for grabs. That's crazy. And it's crazy. I do want to give a special shout out to my peeps in Puerto Rico and in Hawaii. So recently I launched my store on crazycomics.com. That's with 2 E's and not a Y. And I launched my store, and several purchases have been made from Hawaii and from Puerto Rico, and for Catch the Crazies, which is crazy. But right now, Forbidden's available. There's Nearly My Toilet's available. Catch the Crazies are available on the website. So if you did not back the first couple of campaigns and you're a little behind and you don't want to wait for the next campaign in September, you can still get the first 3 issues on the website. So the physical issues, you can get them at digital and physical. And don't forget, July 17th and 18th, Jonathan the Psycho Cyphex and myself will be at ZoloCon in PA. And in August, we'll be at EternalCon in Long Island. Countdown to 300's coming up, our 300th episode, so we want you to be there. We want 30 people in that chat room in order to do 3 raffles. Won't qualify unless we have 30 of you. And the road to 1K. So if we get to 1,000 backers by subscribers to the channel, to the YouTube channel, this one that you're watching right now, if we get to 1,000 subscribers by September 9th, which is our 2nd year anniversary of our comeback of Catch the Craze, one lucky winner will win a $100 gift card, $100 gift card, a Catch the Craze hoodie, and 3 trade paperbacks. There's Nearly My Toilet, Catch the Crazies Volume 1, and Rush 5377 Volume Number 1. What's up, Chris the Joy into his house? And gotta give our girl a shout out. And let's see what else is going on. That's about it. So my boy's been waiting in the waiting room patiently. He's like, "Yo, Sam, you got me in this green room. There's no liquor. There's nothing." Yeah, that's how we do up in here. You're gonna have to starve a little bit, but let's bring JD Calderon in, and hopefully, all things are copacetic. There's my boy. There he is.
What up?
The
Mr.
guy
Sam?
from Queens that talks like he's from Brooklyn. What's up?
Well, I was originally from Brooklyn.
There you go.
More for me, sir.
There you
From
go.
Bushwick.
Yeah, step up to Bushwick and you'll get mush quick.
Exactly. And then I would hang out in Bed-Stuy, so do or die Bed-Stuy, you know?
There you go. Crazy stuff. What's up, JD? So it's just you and me, my friend.
What happened to George?
You know, it's Fridays. Friday's date night for George.
I thought he was married. Come on.
No, he's not married.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought he was married. Oh, I'm sorry.
Nah.
George,
It's common.
enjoy
What's
yourself.
it? Common law marriage, I guess.
Oh, okay. I got you. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, he's got it. Yeah, exactly. So you're killing it. You're killing it on Kickstarter, bruh.
I'm trying, man.
Trying. I was looking it up and I was like, Diablo, this guy's on fire. So let's see what we got here. We got you're at 57 backers. You have 16 days to go and you have 26.92 in already. And so let's talk about this campaign specifically. What's so special about this campaign, JD?
Well, I will show you in half a second. I just want to check something.
And just let you know, we got Krista Joy in the chat. Thank you, Krista, for joining.
Nice. All right. So, what I think is so well, there's a couple things. Couple things. First 41 physical backers. All right. First 41 physical backers.
All right, 41.
They're getting 41. So they're getting one of these, right?
Is that a sticker?
That's a sticker.
All right, cool.
They're getting one of these. This is another sticker.
Yeah, you got some fabulous artists on your project, bro.
They're getting one of these.
That's my favorite. That's its hot.
This is a coaster.
That's a coaster. Look at it. Oh,
This is a coaster,
damn. Oh, he's
So
bringing it to the restaurants. What's up?
Exactly.
Nice.
And then you also get one of these bad boys, and that's like a little acrylic pin.
Nice. You wear it, so you can wear it on your suit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
nice.
And if you really want to get something nice for your suit, this is available on that's a cloisonné or hard enamel pin.
Wow, you're killing it. You're killing it.
2 posts because it's just a little too big, so it needs 2 posts. But yeah, this one is like those other 4 items. First 41 backers, they get those items. Physical backers. I have a lot of digital backers. I got to make a reward just for them.
Nice.
Right? So, but this one is on the levels. Is also available as a add-on, so you can do either one. So
Nice.
and that's what
Yeah, I just want to say, Gilly, what's up? Gil Rodriguez in the house.
Nice.
So nice. So you've been working on the. So for anybody who doesn't even know who you is by, and I don't know how you don't know who JD Calderon is. He's a staple in the indie community. But if for people who don't know your background, who you is.
Okay, so my name is JD Calderon. I'm the writer and creator of the Oswald Chronicles, Tall Tales Online, and some other things. But I've been self-publishing since '92, right? So yeah, I've been around the game for a little while. I've been doing the Oswald Chronicles, in comic form for the last 12 years.
Nice.
Just in general, longer. I guess from like 94, I was writing it in prose. Then a little bit later on, I started doing it as comics. Tall Tales since the very beginning, since '92, probably '91, probably '89.
Wow.
So it's been a while. Yeah. We've been working on that one for a minute. But yeah, I mean, basically that's it. Self-publisher, indie broadcaster, YouTuber, all that jazz. Just trying to make it happen. And the thing is, for myself, it's a passion project. The Oswald Chronicles. Let me show these off. This is issues. These are the 2 books. Well, this is issues 3 and 4 of the Oswald Chronicles, right? We were just passing through. This is the campaign that's currently going on. These are proofs. So these are printer proofs. So as soon as the campaign is done, these suckers go straight to the printer. You know, so there's not going to be like, you're not going to have to wait 2 years to get them. You're not going to have to wait like, you know, an inordinate amount of time. The work is done. Jade Gonzalez, the artist, you know, does fantastic work. You know, so it's like a lot of stuff in there. And there's also issues 1 and 2 still available. Right. So if you haven't, you know, gotten issues 3 and 4, there's a catch-up level. So you can get the first 2 issues. We also have these 2. These are from a prior campaign. This is from Passing Queens and Making Homes. This is issues 7 and 8 of an alternative cover. Okay, so the original cover, like the art is done by Jade Gonzalez. She's the one that did this, right? Jade, she's incredible. But I had gotten some covers done by this guy Donnie Hadijawa. I'd seen his stuff online, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get that guy to do some covers for me before he ends up at Marvel and DC, and I'll never be able to afford him at that point.
Right.
So I was just like, you know what? Let me get this guy's stuff. So I got these done. Issues. This is 7 and 8. Issues 1 through 6 are available as an add-on. So if you want to get those, they're also available.
Nice.
And there's a little bit of a discounted price on them because the level is a mixed bag level. I don't have enough covers of everything. So you might get like a silver foil cover. You might get a blank variant cover.
It's like a Jack in the Box. You don't know what's in it.
Exactly. You might get a virgin cover because we have those as well. So, you know, so you can get any one of those, but it'll be issues 1 through 6 of that series. So yeah, so that's you know, and you know, it's just crazy. It's just the campaign went by very quickly as far as like meeting its goal and then getting a little bit higher.
Right, you guys seem to be on a rhythm lately with your product, and that's pretty cool. Gilbert said that he met you at the New York Comic Con. He believes it was the anime festival in the upstairs section of the Javits Center. And Kristen says she likes the illustration. Your illustration is on fire. I mean, you have an eye for talent with the artists. And do the artists, are they the same ones that do the coloring, or is it a separate person?
Okay, so let's take a look. So this one, artist Jade Gonzalez, colorist Victor Moreno out of Mexico. Jade herself is out of Chile. So, you know, I met both of them online. I met them both on DeviantArt. What's funny is Victor wasn't a colorist, but I was looking at his work and I was like, he colors really nice. And I was just like, and I asked him, I said, dude, would you be willing to color some stuff for me? He said, sure. And I sent it over to him and he colored it. This illustrated by Donnie Hadijawa.
Say that 5 times real fast.
Hadijawa. No, I know, right?
That is dope.
Then,
that is sweet, man.
This, and it's the same guy who did this piece here. Right? This is colored by. Shit. Now I'm mixing up my colorists. Wait a second. Hold on. You know what? Let me look inside the book. Yes.
That's when you're working with that many people.
Yeah. So ties, because it's Carlos. Okay. All right. No. All right. So this is Carlos, because he has, you know, your typical Hispanic name. Carlos Alberto Moreno Diaz. So you know how it is, bro. You got, you know.
It's like my friend. His name is Herbert Antonio Cano Joey Bustamante. So what are you gonna do?
You're just like, bro, you could have just stopped at like the 3rd one.
I know.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, you know, I'm lucky. I only got, you know, the last name. I was like, oh. I mean, I got a middle name. I just never use it, you know. And then, so okay, so then, this is just a proof sample, so it doesn't have it in here. All right, but yeah, so that's Carlos Moreno, and then it's Victor, and I'm blanking on him. Sorry, Victor. I'll make it up to you, I swear. But yeah, I think that, you know, that, and I think enough people have heard about it now that, you know, it's hopefully coming to a point where just more and more people are gravitating to it.
Right.
It's a fun story. It's
who is Oswald?
Oswald. All right. So the elevator pitch for this is.
Yes. Hold on. Hold the elevator. I'm getting it. I got 5 flights to go up. You got me.
There you go. Right, it's not even gonna take that long. You know, what if the greatest sorcerer of our time was born in the body of a mouse? That's it. That's the elevator pitch. Okay. So he's the greatest sorcerer of our time, and he was just born in the body of a mouse, and he's trapped between 2 worlds: the world of man and the world of magic. You know, so you have a fae, you have the fae, which are like fairies. You know, you have his you know, Diane here. She's what they call a highborn. She's the one with the wings. But you have pixies and elves and all those other guys running around. You have in this particular story, we have these guys back here. These are Calcians. This is another race, right, that lives in New York City. Well, they live all throughout the country, but in New York City specifically,
Right.
what had happened was in this particular story, in this 4-issue limited series,
Right.
they tell the tale of how their race was actually in North America long before humans were.
Right.
And then once they saw that men were coming, they got together with their hated enemies, the Grogs. That's these guys, the frog-looking guys. And they brought their magic users together, and they said, okay, the greatest sorcerers. They said, what can we do to, you know, make ourselves safe? Because they felt they were going to be destroyed by, you know, these giant creatures. They didn't know what the hell was going on, so they were like, what are we going to do? Okay, so they got together. They created a magic stone, and the stone makes them all invisible. It empowers that spell, so they're all invisible to mankind. We can't see them, we can't hear them, we can't smell them. You know, there's some physical things. If they're in the area, we step on one of them, you can still step on one of them. So if you ever step on something and you trip and fall, and you look back and there's nothing there, I mean, you might have stepped on one of them. So, you know,
Nice.
we've all done that, right?
Nice. Normally
So-
it's poop, but yeah.
Yeah. But but in this story, the Calcians have discovered, like, the Calcians have the item, they have the stone, and they have the vault that's protecting it. The Grogs have the key to the vault. Okay, so the Grogs keep the key moving, but they always keep it near the vault. So there always has to be, if they ever need to see the stone, the item, to do anything to it,
Right.
they have to come together to do that. There's no one party has that power. But, you know, as life goes, you always have one jerk who says, you know, we're doing all right, but we could be doing better. So they find, you know, the Calcians find out, or this guy finds out with the Calcians where that key is at, and they go and they steal that key. So then the adventure is this group of Calcians who've stolen this key. They're trying to get away, and they find their way onto Oswald's home, which is a mall. You know, Park Avenue. They have the meridians where you have north and southbound traffic, and there's huge flower beds. Oswald lives on one of them with Diane and Ordith. Ordith's a troll, and Diane is a fairy, and the Calcians end up on there. Now, at this point in his life, Oswald's very young. He's probably the equivalent of a 17, 18-year-old. You know, he's very young. And he knows he has some talent in magic, but he doesn't really know anything about it. The Calcians are the ones that really expose him to magic. They're the ones that start giving him books and get him into learning and really learning structured magic, because their magic is basically their science, because that's what they do. So, and that's what Oswald's about. That's what the story is about. And it's just, you know, the Grogs coming after this group of Calcians and how they're dealing with that, because they're like, look, you stole from us, we're going to go get you, and we're going to go get our stuff, because we're going to hit you over the head and take your stuff, you know, because that's what you guys did to us, so we're going to take it back.
Right. And that's how I got introduced to Oswald. It was originally a prose.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. So what made you decide to make it into a comic book?
All right. Well, I don't know if you heard the story, but probably about 12 years ago, I had a windfall of cash fall into my lap. I just had some money. I owed it to somebody, and they were like, don't worry about it.
That investigation's been open since.
Yeah, I know, and they're still looking. Nobody's been found. But I got this cash in my lap, this $5K. You know how it is, man. You get $5K in your lap, you're like, what are you gonna do with that? You know, I can go on vacation. I can put it into my IRA. You know, I can maybe put a down payment on a car, right? I was like, I'm gonna do a comic book because I'm crazy. Right? So I took those funds. I rolled it into that. I was fishing around for artists online to do spot illustrations for my pro stories originally. Jade Gonzalez, the main artist, she had gotten in touch with me. She was like, hey, I can do a comic page for X amount. And I was like, what? really? I was like, okay. And I got this extra cash here. All right, let's do this. So I got her, and I got this, my colorist at the time, Liz Buenaventura. They both got together. I got both of them, and we did Fallen Gods. That was the original story, and it's in full color. And that's available if you want it. You can contact me, or you can go to Indiegogo. That's available on there if you wanted to get it on there. But yeah, that's basically the story. And then what happened was, once that was done and those funds were depleted, at the time I was playing online poker, right? And I was like, okay, all right. And then I had some earnings. I had some winnings on there because I was actually pretty good. I was smashing folks on the $2 and $5 sit and goes, right? So I had some cash, and I said, all right, I cashed a certain portion of it out, and I used that to finance like the next couple of projects with Oswald, and then came upon us Kickstarter. And then I just started kickstarting the projects, and that's where I'm at now.
Yeah, I think Kickstarter started right around the time when I left, and the game. And I remember, I don't know if it was Kickstarter or Indiegogo when it first came out. It was very confusing. I tried to, I was one of those knuckleheads that you said, all right, let's do one, and then nothing's happening with it. You didn't realize at that time you got to promote the hell out of it. But most people didn't understand it. And so it was just like podcasting in the beginning. Yeah. Most people didn't understand it. So then I left, and you stuck with it. And so what was your first experience with Kickstarter, and what were some of the learning curves?
Okay. My first experience was, the first thing I tried doing was I did a hardcover book. Mm-hmm. It was, I think, either 128 or 140 pages. It was in black and white, but it was hardcover. It was a very nice book. Had a couple of had one complete story in it, and some prose stuff. Now, and the thing is I my goal was 5,000, I think, at the time, and I made it. But for those 30 days, I hustled my butt off. All right, I mean, I was there, and I was hustling. I was there every night. Buy my book. Buy my book. Buy my book. I spammed everybody. I had a couple thousand friends on Facebook, and I'm pretty sure they were all damn tired of hearing from me. Buy my book. And I got enough of them to buy the book so that we were able to do it. Now, the thing is my big takeaway from that was it was very stressful, right? And I was like, you know what? My dad had a heart condition, so I don't like being stressed out. So I was just like, you know what? and then the thing is, so I took almost 2 years to do the next campaign. So I was just like, all right, let's take it easy. Let's do the next campaign.
You needed 2 years to recover.
2 years to recover, yes.
That's
it took
crazy.
me 2 years. Yeah. So I recovered. Let's do the next one. I asked for 3,500. Just as stressful as the first one. I was like, you know what, man, this is
because you were shooting high.
Yeah, I was shooting high.
Yeah.
So I say, you know what, the next one I'm gonna do a comic book. I'm just gonna do regular comic books, and if anyone is wondering, these books, they're limited edition. Okay, so there's 250 of these that I do, signed and hand numbered, and that's it. They're signed at 250. Once that's done, I won't be reproducing them in the same fashion ever again. You may see them in color, you may see them as a graphic novel, but you're not going to see them like this. Okay? You're not going to see them as a black and white comic like that. Maybe it'll have a different cover, because that's the case with these guys. These were produced originally with Jay Gonzalez covers. Those are limited to 250. These are actually limited to 500. So, just anyone wonders, that's where we're at with those.
Right.
So I try to make them a little bit more special for everybody.
Yeah. So Daphne says it's a lot easier to finance comics with Kickstarter than online poker. Let me tell you. Wakata.
I don't know. The only thing that stopped me from poker is that the U.S. government clamped down on it and took everybody's money. Because that happened, I don't know, about 12, 14 years ago. I was actually pretty good. I could have probably kept financing.
The most I ever did in gambling was the horses, the races. And I was very lucky. And I was very lucky. And I'm always making, and then I realized, pull out now before you become addicted, because I realized that I was obsessed with it. and I was studying the horses, I was studying the jockeys, I was studying, and I was like, I'm done, and I pulled out, and I never looked back. I said, take your money before you start losing everything. But so that's interesting. So, what was it about the first few campaigns that you said, I'm never gonna do this way again? And then what do you do that's a constant, that's like part of your flow now?
Okay. So, I mean, yeah, so like I said, I had those first two. Those are 2 hardcover books. Then I transitioned over to comic books. So the big difference is, cost, right? Per unit, that sort of thing. We're still doing POD. So, the cost is fairly high per unit, The big difference is that these books, they're a little bit, it's easier to manage, those books, they had 4 or 5 stories each, right? And that's what it was. And it was just a much thicker book, so they came out, a little bit less frequently. Right. These I can do more frequently because I have more books. But my usual thing now is, I have a mailing list, so everybody on the mailing list gets contacted. I have a website for the Oswald Chronicles. I put it up there for any of those guys that are interested that visit the site frequently enough. And I'm doing a lot of these things. This, to be honest with you, the biggest difference I've had is doing YouTube interviews, interactions. I have my own shows. I do one-on-ones with people. I just interviewed Charles Santino this morning. I have a Sunday show, which you've been on, right? That Talking Comics with Indie Comics Explained, 7:30 p.m.
With some ornery folk at that show.
Yeah, but we have fun though. Yeah. But that's because we're all from New York. So
yes, I know.
You got myself from Brooklyn. You got JD Rosario from Brooklyn. You got you from Queens.
Don't talk about pizza with JD. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, no, Mr. Rosario. Oh no, not his pizza. Woof! Don't attack his pizza. Yes. Don't bring up Chicago. Woof!
You want a slice?
Do to lose his mind. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that's my doing the podcast I found has made a real difference. Just going on, talking to people, connecting with the fans. And you just meet new people, and it's actually cool. And the one thing that I want everyone to understand is, like, this is a project that I care about. Like, this is something, like, there are different schools of thought as to how you should create, right? You have one school of thought is find out what your fans want and then create that. That's fine. I work professionally.
That's stressful, but go ahead, yeah.
Right. I worked professionally in the 90s, okay? When I worked that period at Bosses, we were trying to figure out what the fans wanted, and okay, that was that, and that was fine. I says, but when I'm doing my own personal work, I'm doing it for myself, and I want to share it.
Right.
So that's the difference. I'm just looking to share this work with everybody.
Right. You can't please everybody, and I think when you have that school of thought where you're not being authentic.
Right.
You're just trying to feed a trend, and rather than just finding something that's a passion of yours, and I think that's where you see a lot of independents get caught up in trying to figure out what's the trend, right?
Right.
And they're trying to fit in. They're trying to create something that's going to look like an Image book because they want to pitch it to Image. So they're not really being authentic. They're just trying to fit in.
Sometimes not even pitching it to Image. Sometimes they want to produce an Image book just so they can get that nostalgia factor in there. And they're like, oh, everybody's, I remember 90s Image, and that's what I like, so I'm going to go buy that.
Right.
You understand? And that's all well and good. If you're into that, you're into that. That's fine. But if I wanted to do, like, what everybody wants, I'd be like, okay, well, let me go make myself a chick with, like, some nice big boobs and give her a gun and, set her on an adventure. I mean, it's honestly not that difficult. Right. And for a little while, I did consider. I have a lot of prior characters that I did back in the day, and I was going to come out with a character, bring it out there, and I was just, and I came real close to pulling the trigger on it, but I ended up holding back, and I was like, you know what? To be honest, I wasn't ready financially to do it, to have the artist and, have and continue doing what I'm doing with Oswald and do that as well. Hopefully that'll change, because the story itself is actually, I think, pretty good. But
no, it's a really good concept. I mean, I enjoyed reading the prose, and then when you decided to create the comic book, I was like, oh, now I can see all of them.
Right.
You know, and I think that was just the cherry on top.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I was gonna say so. Oh yeah, so about authenticity, you know, George and I had a conversation because uh, the reason why I outsourced Forbidden to like Anibal and other artists is because while I can do that style, it's more labor intensive for me. It's not my passion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was always trying to like emulate my heroes,
Right.
you know, in that genre. And I said, you know what? I'm just gonna draw when I do an alternate cover for Forbidden. I'm gonna draw it in my style, the way I draw my characters. I don't have to fit a look. I'm just gonna do it my way. And that's when I settled on the fact because it's too much work trying to copy or fit in. You know what I mean? I think it's when you're being authentic and genuine, and that's when the product shines through.
I mean, look, when I was, I don't know, 13, 14 years old, right? I was in high school, probably 12. So 12, 13, I was in junior high school, and I had met a friend, and he was an artist. I was drawing too at the time. I was drawing and I was writing. And I saw his artwork, and I was like, you know what? I don't have to draw anymore. Because he was so far ahead of me. I was just like, I'm never catching up. I'm never going to be as good as this guy, but I can write. So I kept writing, and that's what I did. So sometimes you just got to find your lane and stick to it. You know, because I've met cats who are trying to be artists, right? They might be great inkers. They might be great colorists. They might be great letterers. You understand? Not everybody can be the great penciler.
Right.
You know, so you know, and then sometimes you got guys who are trying to do both, and they may be better writers than they are pencilers. You know, look at Bill Willingham. Incredible artist, incredible pen and ink work, right? But he decides to write more because he can do it faster. And in truth, he's probably a better writer than he is an artist. And the thing is, he's an incredible artist. That's the crazy thing about it. You know, but he is a lot faster as a writer.
Well, and that's the reason why I also outsource coloring because I'm a novice coloring, and what you know, so I'm a basic colorist, and I suck as an inker, right? So, you know, I could when I'm inking. That's why when I ink my work, I feel like I'm just tracing, but you got to know your limits. Like I know. If I'm gonna color something, it's because either I ran low on funds, so now I know I'm gonna spend 8 hours on this damn thing because I hate coloring. But that's the only time. But if I can outsource, I'm gonna do it because I understand my strengths and my weaknesses. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And it's key to anybody's success is understanding your limitations. Work it, you know, enhance your strength. You know.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. That's why when I work with people, I try to find, the best artists I can find. One of the things I haven't mentioned in the campaign is that we kind of like blew by. It was crazy because we blew by. We had a $750 goal. We blew by that. Yeah, we blew by that like in 2 hours, right? Yeah, and like we're like okay, and I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna start on the stretch goals. And I was like, all right, I'll start at 1,500. And I woke up the next day, boom, that was gone. And I was just like, what? Okay, that's a little crazy.
¿Qué pasó?
Exactly. I was like, what? And then I was like, all right, we'll set something up for 20. And boom, that was gone too. And I was just like, oh, 2,000 was gone, 2,500 was gone. I was like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to give it to everybody anyway. So what I'm doing is a trading card set. It's 9 cards in a set. It may take 2 campaigns to get the whole thing together. I'm hoping I can just do it all in one. But it's 9 cards, individual artwork on each one. And there's a bunch of different artists. I have, I got Matt Lunsford on there. I got Jerome Jacinto. I got The Riz. I got, who's the other one? Oh, Aurelio Tillis. he's actually working on a story for me. And, but I have all, I have this artwork, so it's up there. So for every $500 I made past 1,500, I'm giving out a trading card, and it's gonna make a 9-card set. And then if you have you have the little slip sheets that you can put them in, right? So when you put in the 9 cards, you turn it to the back. There's gonna be a complete image on the back. So yeah, So I'm doing that. So and
Nice. You know, it's funny. It's I don't even think about the stretch goals now until I've accomplished the first part. So I don't even know what that would, what I'm going to be thinking about at that point, because like you said, it is those 30 days that you run a campaign. It is the most stressful when you're trying to build that audience. I think when it comes to what you guys have done, you've established a foundation throughout the years. And you're utilizing the tools a lot more organically in social media, that's allowing you to stretch and reach out to others. You know what I mean? Where anybody coming in now, it's going to be a little difficult, unless you're that next superstar that just blows everybody away, and they're like, I gotta have that. Yeah, you know what I mean?
You know what's funny? Like, there are those, but I don't care who you are. You have to build up a fan base of some kind. You got to go out there and be on Instagram, be on Twitter, be on Facebook, and just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and showing everybody your artwork and stuff. But I've seen plenty of people like do very, very well, not so much on the work, but just on their personalities. You got people that make tens of thousands of dollars, and it has nothing to do with the work, and it has more to do with their personality.
Like ability.
Right, exactly. If it's people like it, they like it, and they're gonna want to help you out, and that's really cool. And that's just trying to get in front of enough heads. That's the thing, is just trying to get in front of enough people. Yeah. If you can get on some of these bigger platforms, just go for it. But the fantastic thing, and I tell this to a lot of people, is like, I have my YouTube channel, and I have like 260 subscribers or whatever, and it's not like a huge channel or anything. But I tell people, it's like, look, it doesn't matter how big your channel is. What matters is how dedicated your fan base is.
Yes. Right?
Because you can go to a channel that has 1 million subscribers, right? You go on there and you're being viewed by 26,000 people, and you don't get anybody. You maybe get 1 or 2, people to back your campaign, right? And then you can go on another channel that has like 50, watchers, and you end up with 10 or 12.
Yeah.
You understand? So you never know where you're going to get that money from. That's why, because there's some people, they don't want to come on to small channels. And I'm like, you don't even know what you're doing to yourself.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I've been on channels where they have no viewers at all. And, but somehow I got a pledge because I was on that show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because, so it's like, I think any press is good press, no matter where it's coming from. If you have an opportunity to talk to somebody, being on somebody else's channel, that means you're connecting with that new person that you didn't even know before.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then if you hit it off, that's even better. And I think that's where I think some people, but it plays in reverse too, because then you'll have people who have names that don't even want to touch the little guys, right? Because I remember when we relaunched Cats to Craze. There's an artist that we're going back and forth on LinkedIn, just on art, and I was like, hey, if you ever want to come on the show, and then he looked at the channel, he goes, oh, you're not big enough.
Right.
I was like, yo, that was the first time I was like, really? I was like, I didn't even know who you were until we met on LinkedIn. You know what I mean? So I was like, but so it plays on both sides. You have the little guy who doesn't want to go on another little guy's show because he doesn't have enough viewers. Then you have the big guy, not even mainstream, just a little, just has work. Somebody who's getting work, and so I think at a certain point, individually, you just got to look at what's good for me, and just hustle. Because if you're going to do a Kickstarter, you have to hustle. If you're looking to get people to believe in your product, you have to hustle. You have to put yourself in their face. You have to make them believe in you and your product, and and you have to be consistent.
Yeah,
that's the key, is the consistency. That's why I get pissed off with the printers. Like, we're using the printer that you guys recommended, and the same thing's happening again. Right?
What's happening?
It was supposed, I got a date. It was supposed to be here this week, and then I'm hearing, next week. And I'm like, you did that to me last time. It's like, this is my reputation, because I'm telling my backers, hey, I'm going to get it to you early, and now I'm at the mercy of this again. This is the same thing you did with me with the Indiegogo. So I'm like, there's not going to be a third time. So like this, you got both cheeks, and then you're not going to get anything else. And so I think that's where it gets frustrating. you know, because I believe in my backers. You know, we have a small group, a loyal following, and and we're so appreciative of them. And when I give them my word, I want to deliver on that word.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a little rough. I like the guy. The only thing is because here's the issue that I've had with prior printers, like this printer. He's always been good to me. He's like a quick turnaround. He started out, 1 week. I would just get him right back. But as he's grown, right, obviously, he's got more clients. So it's taking a little bit longer. But even then, 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, how long have you been waiting?
Now 2 weeks.
Now 2 weeks, right? Which it really isn't that bad. You go check out some of these other printers. They're gonna keep you waiting a month.
No, I get everything from Mix'em in 5 days.
Oh yeah, Mix'em's a totally different.
I get
That's
everything.
a totally,
Mix'em,
yeah.
like I got my books from Mix'em, so like I got
Yeah.
I'm just waiting on the hollow foil gold and silver. I got these
Right.
came in from Mix'em, right?
Gotcha.
And I got my stuff from Overnight Prints. The certificate of authenticity is there. I got the trading cards in. They came in. Everything's here except for that one thing that I'm waiting on.
Gotcha.
And that's what's frustrating is like, but when you give me a date, and then I'm following up because the date comes and nothing arrives, and you're not responding, and then you respond, oh, we're backed up, it's going to print next week. I said, no. You said it was going to print last week, and I would get it this week. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, that's the part. It's like you got to be a man in your word in this game, because independents get a bad rap.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
especially with crowdfunding campaigns, because they're not on time. People don't get their stuff. You know what I mean? We've never wanted to be. We've always been early.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Since we started from jump, we've always been earlier than the date that we post. And I pride on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, it was like you trusted me, you supported me, you helped us make it possible. I want to make sure you get your stuff.
No. Listen, man. That is key, and that's important. Because like I said, I pride myself on the same thing. The only thing is, I do give myself a little bit more latitude. I'm like, okay, if it's a little late, it's a little late. But as soon as this campaign closes out, it goes to the printer.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I know with us is as soon as we get the check. So as soon as
I don't even wait for that.
Nah, I'm a brokepreneur. So as soon as Kickstarter took a while. It took them 2 weeks to get us our money.
Yeah, it always takes 2 weeks.
One because there was a couple of people they were still trying to reconcile with, and so that made it even longer. So it took a couple of weeks, and then when we finally got it, as soon as it hit the bank, everything was because the files were ready. All I had to do was send, and it was done.
Yeah.
You know.
No,
Daphne says I'm finally getting my books after 2 weeks tomorrow because he told me the paper shortage, especially on the metallics.
Yeah. So but I like I said, as soon as the campaign is done, we send it out to the printer. We're like, boom, and then by the time I'm paid by Kickstarter, I'll have the books, and I'll start wrapping everything up. Even if I get them early, I start bundling up into whatever I need to get them into the packages. So if I can get it done a week early, I'll get it done a week early. But the thing is, once I'm done, I start another campaign.
Yeah, George just hit us up. Liability is huge. What's up, fellas? And no, but I'll give you a perfect example. So I get an email through Kickstarter from somebody who's never backed any of our campaigns and just said, hey, how do I get your homage cover for Catch the Crazies? So I said, here's a link to my website because I'm selling them through the website. And so he ordered 3 of them, right? And it's in Hawaii. That was 9:30 last night. By 10 o'clock, everything was packaged. At 9 o'clock this morning, USPS picked it up from my house and it's already on its way.
Yeah.
That's how important it is for me to make sure that I deliver on the expectation. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're the most important person to me right now, and I'm going to make sure that this is done, out of the way, boom. And I think that's where sometimes that's lost.
Yeah, it is lost because you got a lot of creators. They just usually what it is that a lot of them don't have the material already ready. They're like, okay, I need you to fund my lifestyle while I produce this book. And then those are the ones that are worse because I still have campaigns I'm waiting 4 or 5 years on.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on one from last year. And I was like, well, and so then I'm getting like updates on a new campaign coming up. I said, you're not getting me ever. I was like, no, it's not gonna happen. I said, I can't even. I still haven't got my first one.
Right. I've had campaigns where I've waited like, there was one artist I think kept me waiting 3 years on an art book, but I eventually got the art book. So it came through. Sometimes they just take that long.
Yeah.
I've only had, out of the 250 odd campaigns I've backed on Kickstarter, I think I've only had about 2 not delivered. Okay, 2 that I expect that will never deliver.
That's crazy.
Okay, right. So I expect these to never ever deliver.
Yeah, there was one campaign that I saw, and the artwork was fantastic. It was a big book. It was huge, but it said delivery fall 2022. I was like, I'm not backing this. I'll forget about it. You know what I mean? I was like, nah, forget it. I'll wait till it hits the stores. If it hits the stores, I'll get it from the store. But I was like, nah, if I want something, I want it, 30 days after it's over. I'm not waiting a whole year.
No, I don't mind backing those types of projects because I'll just wait and I get what's called kickstarted. So a package will show up at my door. And I'm like, what's this? And then you open it up. Oh, I forgot all about this. So now I get it.
Yeah, no. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. I'll wait till that hits the store. I'm not waiting a whole year. If I'm backing it, it's because I really dig it and I want it now. You know what I mean? It's like, nah. As soon as that's done, I want it.
Right. Yeah. Now, but there's so few campaigns that are like that, though. Very few campaigns that are like that. They're just ready. There's not that many. There's some people who are close, but they might tell you like 6 months, 7 months, or whatever. But it depends.
Yeah, no.
Some people.
That's
why. I think are starting to get a little tighter on it, though.
Yeah, I think if you're a newbie, you want to be successful in Kickstarter, you need to have your stuff done. So when you launch, you have to. First impressions are lasting impressions.
Right.
That's the way I look at it. I said, if your first campaign and you're saying, well, this is to hire an artist to get this stuff done, but come on, guys, spend the time to get it done first. And I think that's what we did. We just ran into a snafu the first time when we started, but we got it out on time, and but we've been on time ever since. And like Forbidden is completely done, and so now with issue 2, it's just about once that we'll see what happens with the campaign, and then we go from there. But so like back to Oswald. Now, normally you would have your action figure resin statues as a tier. Is that available in this campaign or no?
No, well that action figure, that's for Tall Tales.
Oh, Tall Tales, that's right.
Yeah. So we keep it. We don't cross those streams.
Any reason why you've never done an Oswald figure?
It's funny. I am working with someone. So we'll see. That's part of the future. Like I said, that's how I got this sucker made. This Cloy's an A pin. That's like, it's funny. This damn little pin we've been working on this for like 2 years. On this little pin. And it's only because, it's just a matter of just like, I would get it. And it wasn't expensive to make. It was like, it's a few $100 investment. It wasn't a big investment, but it was one of those things where it's just like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, how do I like it like this or do I like it like that? So I have like 30 different colorways, the way he's colored, the way the logo and all that stuff. So it's colored all these different fashions. I'm like, which one do I like? So you're trying to pick and pick and pick. And what's funny is we just went with his original colors that was on the cover originally. Yes. So and it just took forever, and it was just one of those things.
Because sometimes I think you get caught overthinking.
Yeah.
Right.
That's exactly what it is.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What is it? Paralysis by overanalysis, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, George was asking what tiers or whatever, but so you missed Jorge Medina. Hey, he's got coasters, bro. He's got lapel pins. He's got stickers. He's got it all. It's crazy. Who designed the look for the pin?
Well, it was taken off of a cover that Jay Gonzalez had illustrated.
Yeah. I think his Oswald is my favorite Oswald.
Jade's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like hers. Her style is my favorite style for the Oswald. Yes.
So it's taken off of a cover that she had done, and Daphne is the one that she did the cutout. She put the little logo on there, and she does all the graphic design work for me because I'm lucky.
Yeah, I know. I got her, but I had to find him like 12 times. Damn it, good help is hard to find. Yeah. So you have what? 16 days left.
16 days left.
Your last campaign, how many backers did you have?
For Oswald, I think it was 82.
82.
Maybe?
Okay, so
Maybe
you're
82.
so you're a little over 25 away or so from getting to that number.
Yeah, and then now the big difference is that I'm almost 2,700. The last one with 80 something backers, I think I made 3K. Right. So
you have less backers and almost the same amount.
Right. Because what had happened on the prior on that same campaign, someone had contacted me and they said, "Hey, listen, I had seen that you had like this really big tier where you had all these different books on it, right? So it was like the ultimate book level. That's what I call it, right?
Right.
And it was $200 plus dollars, whatever it was. And I was like, I had stopped putting it on because nobody was biting. But this person had asked us, okay, if you want it, I'll put it on there. So I made it available for 3 people. I put it on there, and all 3 slots went, on that campaign. And I was like, okay, I should have done 5.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
And then that's what happened on this. I said, you know what, let me put it on. And 2 people jumped on it, fairly quickly. So that's where a lot of, a good portion that comes from. So yeah. But I think that's the big difference. So I'm hoping to hopefully move it a little bit further along. If I can make 4K, it would be nice.
Nice.
Get all these cards out. And also it's like, here's the other thing is, whatever money I make on this doesn't come to me. I'm not going to Disney World on this money. All this stuff goes right back into the project. It goes right back to my artist. It goes back to Jade Gonzalez, Aurelio Tillis, who's a new artist, and anybody else I'm working with. It just goes right back to them.
Yeah, same thing here. I think dollar for dollar, every nickel went to the campaign. Every nickel that we've raised, like this last Catch the Crazies, not only did it pay for the production of everything and the shipping, the supplies to ship it, all that stuff, whatever. It also paid for the colorist on Forbidden. So, we were able to just use dollar for dollar on it. And so there's, I'm still a brokepreneur. I'm still eating peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Actually, today I had fish and French fries. I went to a southern place. I found it in Jersey. I was like, what? It was a Creole place. I was like, oh, it's over. Got some fried fish and French fries. But
nice.
Yes, yeah. So this is your second one this year for Oswald?
Maybe it could be the third.
You don't know. He's like, I don't. Well, you normally go back between Kickstarter and Indiegogo.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So here's the one thing that a lot of people they sometimes have a problem with that. They're like, why do you do Indiegogo and Kickstarter, right? So I do Kickstarters first. And then Indiegogo is kind of like a catch-up. So if you didn't catch the Kickstarter, you can catch it on Indiegogo. And there are certain people that just buy, they're loyal to either platform. So you have some people like to buy from Indiegogo, you have some people like to buy Kickstarter. So, so I try to make it easy for them.
So that's very fascinating. So you'll run this campaign. When it's over, then you'll transition the campaign over to Indiegogo.
Eventually.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Now, what's normally the time span before you move it over?
Right now, it's looking like almost a year. Yeah, because I'm running some other stuff over on Indiegogo. I have to put together the next campaign. And here's the thing: I don't raise a lot of money on Indiegogo.
Right.
If I'm lucky, I get $500. If I'm lucky, I've got campaigns that are $200, $300, $400, whatever. But I've done enough campaigns that I've raised about 4K on that platform. And if I hadn't done it, I would have. That's 4K that went to my artists.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. It's like that's 4K. That's 4K more material that I have. Of product. Of pages.
Yeah.
One
of the things I wish, when I decided to come back into the game, I paid my artists out of pocket, because I wasn't up on the crowdfunding. And I think when we came back, I don't know if we were talking to you, and that's where the bug came in. It's like, I can't be paying out of pocket all the time, and it helped significantly because that's what paid for Catch the Crazies.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's I mean, all right. Like I said, I did. I had my initial fund, and then I got enrolled into into gambling. It's some poker winnings. And the thing is even when I was doing a crowdfunding, for a while there, it was probably like 80-20. So 20% was coming out of my pocket, 80% was being paid by the crowdfunders. Now I'm more like 95-5. You know, so it's not as much money coming out of my own pocket, but there are occasions that I have to pull some cash.
Same here.
Yeah, which is fine. Yeah, I just want to get it to a point where I'm at 120%, because then that'll just allow me to just make more stuff. You know, one of the things I've been talking about is like with the Oswald Chronicles. I am currently writing the last story in the series, right? So,
which is
now,
equates to how many issues in the comic? That's like 100 issues.
Probably, because you know, like I said, I tell you, I'm about 1,300 pages. I'm about 1,300 comic pages in.
Nice.
Right, which is like 30, 33, 34 comics, right? To finish it will probably be another 50, 60 issues. Who knows? I have no idea. Because I write the stories and I write a story, right? I don't break it up into issues. I do that on the back end. So yeah, so that's the thing. You know, some of the stories might run one issue. Some of them might run 2 issues. Some of them might run 8.
Now you're continuing with the comic, but are you also continuing with the prose?
On occasion, yeah. I did some prose just recently. I have another prose on the next campaign. I'll probably have another prose book. So yeah, I definitely do prose.
Nice.
I'm still doing that. So, you know, I mean, it's one of those things where you got to like flex certain muscles at certain times. You want to do prose, you want to do this, that, and the other thing. There may come a point where I take those prose and I convert them into comics, because I've done that before. My first day, the very first story was a prose story. The story that's running now, we were just passing through, was originally a prose story. So, you know, there are times I'm like, okay, we got to reverse engineer them.
Right. And so when you're doing your prose, do you combine them with the comic when you're doing your crowdfunding, or you do one or the other?
No, I tend to do one or the other. Although it would be interesting if I started doing both, so you can do a side by side comparison.
Right. And so, and what normally is the result prose versus the comic?
Well, here's the thing. Because they are two different, they're two different mediums, all right? So prose has its strengths, right? You can get a little bit more in depth in a character, in what's in their head and what's going on, right? Comics, you have the visual aspect of it. So you got to strip a lot of that stuff away. So, but it has the added benefit of being visual. You know, you'll see it. I can tell you, oh, he's walking down the street. He's walking down a cobbled street, right? And that's my line. He's walking down a cobbled street. Okay, fine. Whereas the artist, she'll draw the cobbled street, and you got the buildings, you got all this other stuff going on in the background. You got like, lights and fairies and, all this other stuff going on. Whereas, my thing is just like, okay, so I got to get them from here to here. And I can go in there and, there are times, you go in there, you put in, but you don't want to get your prose too purple. You don't want to get you don't want to be too descriptive, because then you're eliminating like what's in a person's mind.
Right, the imagination.
I rather give a suggestion of what's going on in my prose rather than filling out a whole picture. Because there's some people who like the whole picture, and there's some people who prefer the suggestion. I'd rather suggest it, and you'll fill in the blanks. Because we've all been around the block enough that we've read enough, saw enough, whatever, that these images will fill in. When I tell you a sorcerer is casting a spell, right, I'll see it in my head one way, you'll see it in your head another.
Yeah. Same thing. Same thing with an artist's interpretation of a comic script. You know what I'm saying? You give it to 10 different artists, you're gonna get 10 different styles, 10 different looks and approaches, maybe a camera angle or whatever it is, and you're like, whoa, Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's what's the great thing about it. That's what I enjoyed when I was reading your prose, is that it allowed you to just imagine and and see it play through.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool. So what would be the ultimate result for you?
Man, That $100 million. No, I mean the ultimate thing for me is finishing the series. You know, is getting it to the end. You know, and having it all produced, having these massive volumes like this, big making my omnibuses. I'm like, there's an omnibus, there's another omnibus. There you go. That's ultimately my goal. You know, is to finish the series. You know, because that's the thing. There's so many people that don't finish.
Yeah.
You know, that they start a series and they just don't finish. You know, I mean, that's why I tell people, I say, look, if you're going to do something, focus. If you're in the beginning, focus on doing something small. Do it one shot. You understand? Do a 4-issue limited series, 3-issue limited series, 2-parter, whatever it is. You know, but don't go shooting for the big epic. You know, understand? I mean, leave that to crazy people like me, you know? Or when you're ready for it. You understand? Do enough of those one-shots and 2-parters, or even if you can construct the story so that it's a series of 1-shots, 2-parters, 4-parters that have a larger arcing story. That's kind of like what the Oswald Chronicles is. It's a bunch of shorter stories. Like this one we were just passing through is 4 issues. You know, the one before it is 8 issues. There's actually a story that fits in between those 2 stories that's going to be a 2-parter that links them.
Right.
You know, the next story is going to be a 4-parter. So it just, you know, that's the thing, you know, do them small, but there's an overarching story.
Right.
So you can do that, and eventually you end up with one ginormous story.
So what brought about the idea of doing audiobooks?
That was Daphne.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can talk to her about that.
Yeah, because she said you're currently experimenting with audiobooks. Experimenting.
You know, she's currently experimenting with audiobooks.
Oh shit.
Honestly, I don't have time for that. I thought about it in the past. I'm like, I'm not gonna start reading my stuff. You know, I just drive myself crazy.
You know, is it the fact that, you know, people is it trying to be relevant and competitive and having an edge over the next guy, or is it just a natural progression or the evolution of your brand?
As far as the audio stuff?
Yeah. Like, I mean, because it's like the mindset is it a strategy that's going to benefit, or is it something where, you know, because George and I also talked about that. And so it's like, is it something that's going to give you that competitive edge, or is it something that's just a natural evolution for the brand because there's a demand, a big enough demand for it?
I think for that, I think what her thing was is to give us a little bit of an edge. You know, is to bring it to like another level.
Right.
Because the thing is, here's the thing, right? Like I have Oswald in prose. I have Oswald as a comic book. Right now it's mostly black and white. At some point in the future, I want to turn it into color, right? So, you know, it's going to go from black and white comic to black and white trade paperback to hopefully color comic, and then on to color trade paperback, right? But, you know, it's trying to get it out in as many, you know, different printed forms,
right,
or as many forms as possible. And that would include, you know, an audio. So what, you know, that's just one more thing. You know, if we could get a cartoon made, obviously we'll go for that.
Right.
You know, but audiobooks, you know, right now you have Richard and Wendy Pini from ElfQuest, you know, doing audiobooks because they've tried to get the damn movie made forever. Right. You know, but you never know, by doing that audiobook, that may take them to that next level to get that movie made.
Right, right. Yeah. So and I agree. You know, because Daphne says so many people don't actually read the comic books, but they buy the audiobook. It's a way to attract those people who want to support the book but don't have time to enjoy it. And I agree, because my wife listens to audiobooks all the time. Right. I listen to podcasts most of the time, and when I'm listening to an audiobook, it's usually when I want to go to sleep, and I'm usually listening to like leadership and motivational audiobooks.
Gotcha.
But there's an audience, there's a market for everything.
Oh yeah,
you know,
a huge market for
and I think the key to a successful prose, a successful comic book, a successful audiobook is your marketing power and your strategy, and that grit that's required of an independent to be able to hustle. You know, so what is your game plan to get back into the streets and connect with fans? Are you ever going to do cons again?
We're already set up for Eternal Con, August, I think is 8th and 9th.
Ah, I'll see you there.
We'll
suck it now.
Yeah, we'll be there. So that's coming up next.
chocolates. My wife is throwing chocolates at you. Yes. So no, my wife's been telling me to do audiobooks for a long time. Because I don't know if you remember when I first did the podcast back then. I used to do the voices of Disney, of Duty, and all the characters, the Chihuahua. So she wanted me. That was when I was going to do the audiobooks back then. And then now I'm just trying to get the books, the physical books done, and I'm just trying to build a fan base. And I've been a lot of people have been signing up to the newsletter, which is great. After my sister did a road trip to Florida and we listened to audiobooks. Yeah, audiobooks has its purpose, and sometimes it's and sometimes subliminally. Sometimes you don't think you're listening, but then you remember that stuff later. You know what I mean? Because I tend to listen to that stuff when I'm working, because I just like hearing soft spoken words when I'm drawing. You know. Right. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna see you at Eternal Con. That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you're gonna be there, I'll definitely. Yeah, I'm gonna be there. What's funny is with audio, but I don't listen to them, right? So it's out of sight, out of mind for me. That's why I never thought about it. I was like, okay, fine. You understand? It was just one of those things because I like I said, it's not something I take part in. So yeah, on my spare time, I'm either listening to music, especially when I'm writing, I'm listening to music. That's the only thing I can listen to while I'm writing. I gotta focus.
What kind of music?
The very Enya.
It's got to be like melodical, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Instrumental,
Enya, Enigma, Dead Kid Dance, things like that. It's just like it's just background, sound. It sounds nice. And say, okay, so I could just move on. There's a lot of soundtracks from a lot of different movies. I listen to a lot of stuff like that, and that's just it's just easier. I can't have people like saying too many lyrics. You're like,
no, not when you're writing. Right. I mean, you can listen when you're drawing. You could listen. I can listen to anything when I'm drawing. When I'm writing, it has to. There can't be any words. The only words that should be spoken are the ones in my head. That's it. That's what I want to hear.
Right.
Let's see what's happening in the chat. So. Daphne says now she imagines her stuff, what it would sound like in a car. Krista says audiobooks are so much easier to digest, and we would love to have you at MegaCon. Yes, MegaCon next year. And the trick is trying to get my voice to sound correct while reading out loud. It's harder than it sounds. Yeah, that's why I do funny voices. It's better to hear that.
Because that's the thing. If I was doing an audiobook, I would be like, okay, so now I have to find people to read for me. And I would want to get different people for different characters. Right. And then I would just drive myself insane. I'm like, okay, now I have to get the sounds. So if I got a door opening, I'm going to want the, I'm going to want that. You understand?
Right.
If I got lightning going off or a spell, I'm going to want some funky sound.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's work.
Yeah, it is. It is. I went to film school, and I know how, I've edited like short films together, and you're putting in the sounds and you're doing all that stuff, and it is work.
It is work. It is a lot of work, and and people don't realize that. Right. It's when I, like, for instance, when I commissioned an animator to do that 1 minute trailer for To Catch the Crazies. I sent George a script. I said, here's your dialogue. My wife, she was the newscaster, whatever. Right. I had to sit down and do all the sound effects. All they did was just the animation, nothing else. No special effects. Right. I added the effects. I added the clouds, the leaves. I added sound. I added the voiceovers, all that stuff. And when you looked at it, there was about 75 layers in the video program. Yeah. Right? You know what I'm saying? And everything has to, so it's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time. So people only see the finished product, and they think, oh, it's easy. No, you're spending a couple of days, sitting there on your ass getting a rash. It's like,
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know about you, but I remember like sitting down and say, okay, I'm gonna start editing, and I would sit down at like 2-3 p.m. right, and then without even you just start working, and you turn around, and it's 5 a.m.
Yeah,
you started at 3 p.m.
Yes.
And you're stopping at 5 a.m.
And then you realize, I didn't eat. There are times when you're like, I didn't eat. Yeah. All I had was coffee all day.
I didn't eat. I didn't go to the bathroom. Yeah. I was just so focused. I was just this. And that's the thing. Editing will do that to you. I mean, it did it to me a few times. I was there for like 14-hour sessions, and it was just like, oh, okay, well, this was crazy.
Yeah, and I
You
think,
know.
and then and it gets harder when you're trying to make a comic, you're trying to run a podcast, you're writing your book, you're drawing the book, and you're editing videos, all that stuff. You got to multitask, and that's where the challenge comes in. Let's see. It says, reading out the trick to trying to get my voice to sound correct while reading out loud. It's harder than it sounds. That was Daphne. And Krista says no. Kind of missed the old school audiobooks from the 80s. One narrative for the comic storyboard format. Remember what it says, boop, turn the page, right? Like next page, like boop. The audio tapes, remember those? I used to love those audiobooks.
No, like I said, I would end up doing like an audio drama, where I try to get different people, different voice actors, and then put it all in sound. Like I said, I would just drive myself insane. I would be like,
So Gil was asking, are you part of the furry fandom?
I don't. It's one of those things. I like Oswald's a mouse. I mean, if you want to consider it that's fine. But I wouldn't say yes or no. I enjoy what I enjoy, right? If Usagi Yojimbo, right? Mouse Guard.
I have all of them.
Exactly. So these are different things, right? If you consider that part of that community, yeah, sure, why not? You understand? So it's one of those things where it's just like, there's so much crossover. You understand? In actuality, what I am is I'm a huge fantasy fan. Now, where that takes me, that's where it takes me, and that's where I'm at.
So are you ever going to have someone dressed up as Oswald at a con?
Who knows? Maybe.
That'd be cool.
Right? Yeah, it would be very, very interesting.
Yeah, you definitely attract people to your table.
Yeah, and I would try to get them like 6 feet tall.
Yeah, 6 feet tall. Yeah, it's funny. We today aired an interview with John Ottinger, and he did set designs. He did a lot of big props for like Power Rangers and all these other movies and store windows and Disney and all that stuff, whatever. And he came up with his campaign called Dweers. And when you see how he set up his booth at San Diego Comic-Con, it looks like a freaking museum. It looks like a theme park, and which is why he has all these licensing deals. Because, but there goes somebody who. That's why I thought about you bringing the mouse in costume, because it's that attraction. All I did was San Diego Comic-Con. The last one I did was I had a UFO above my table with the toilet, with alien in the toilet, and I sold all the books that I had on inventory for that show. You know what I mean? And it was because I had something that was different from the other guys in small press.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's just those little things that bring a smile to somebody's face. I gotta see what this is about. So outside of Eterna, what else are you gonna do? Is that the only one for the year?
So far, that's it for the year. But we're keeping it like, New York Comic-Con. We're like kind of like we don't know, maybe not. Like I may just go as I'll see if they'll give me a pro pass, and I'll see if I can just go for the hell of it.
Yeah, they're supposed to let us know next week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so everybody who's applied, they're supposed to find out next week if they got accepted. Because I know I not only did I apply for it, I also applied for a panel, podcasting panel, and so I'm hoping that got accepted too. And so we'll see.
Yeah.
MegaCon.
MegaCon. Who's at MegaCon?
That's Crystal. She lives in Florida. And, yes, and she's like, come to.
Yeah, what's funny is I love going to Orlando because Daphne and I are actually going to Orlando in September. So to visit Disney World.
Oh, you are?
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at that. See that, Crystal? You probably get to meet them in September. They're going to Orlando. There you go. I want to do next. Well, and George and I were talking about it earlier today. All depends on what happens with the books this year. If it's not by the end of the year, if it's not where I want it to be, I'm just going to Licensing Expo and San Diego Comic-Con. That's it next year, because those are two big ticket items, and because I just got to go out there and pitch, and I got to set myself up for that arena. And but if it goes the way I want it, then next year I want to do I want to do MegaCon. I want to do Dragon Con. I've never done it. I've never done MegaCon. I want to do shows I've never done. Like I've done Baltimore. I've done Emerald City Comic Con. I did Wizard World Chicago. I've been Pittsburgh. I've done all those, but I've never done those shows. And I want to try to get. And I want to do the biggest sci-fi UFO convention in the United States. And that's where I'm going to really go all out with duty. But but those are, for me, those are where I want to do.
Okay, that's cool. Like, it's funny because we haven't, even before the pandemic, we hadn't really gone to any real shows in like 2 years. Like we stopped and we just focused on Kickstarter and, you know, and Indiegogo. And we just got into that mindset of just thinking. And then the pandemic happened, everything shut down. So then we really got into it. So yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's one of those things because, you know, back in the day, you know, we're a little younger, you know, we get on the bus and go places and do things. Now I'm just like, man, I want to get out of bed.
You sound like George. So yeah, we were at PowCon, and it's a different feeling. Like I haven't done it in a minute, but it's a different feeling because, you know, and there's just weird people, right? So they'll stare at you, right, and then you engage them, and they walk away real quick. Right? Or they come to the table and they'll look at it, and then when you say, "Hey," well, you know, you're excited and you want to talk about it, they walk away. No acknowledgement. And so I was getting used to that. Was weird. It was an adjustment. And then you have those long periods when you had a small show where you have these long periods where there's no traffic in your area, and you're like, you know, so it's like, you know, maybe I'll draw, you know, maybe I'll, you know, talk to this guy here, talk to this guy here, because there's nobody in our area. There's like 40 vendors on this side and there's nobody walking in this area, you know. So that was also like, whoa, you know, so that was an adjustment. But we got 10 new emails, you know, people who subscribe to the email, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, so 10 people who didn't know who we were now know who we are, right? You know, so you gotta take your wins when you get them.
Yeah, because that's the thing, you know, you can end up, you know, with 10 long-term fans. Yes. So that show may have cost you X, right? But, you know, those fans can follow you and, like, you know, this campaign give you X amount as you go through. Yeah. And that'll more than make up for the show and more than make up, you know, for being there. Yes. You know, not yet.
Yes. So that's why, you know, I think for me, I'm doing ZoloCon in PA. In July, and then EternalCon, and then hopefully New York Comic Con. If New York Comic Con says no, then I'll look at doing one more show in the fall. But if they say yes, I'll end with New York Comic Con because that's also a big ticket item. And but that's it. I think just those for me was just those 4 for this year, and then next year it all depends on what happens this year because the plan is, you know, if this campaign for Forbidden goes well, then the next one will be for the graphic novel. Gotcha. If it doesn't go well, the next one will be for the 3rd issue. You know, so I'll keep building them up because it pays for the colorist. She's coloring 170 pages. Yeah, yeah.
I've been there.
There's a lot of pages, and so good thing is that this issue is already completely done, and so it just needs to go to the printer. That's it. And so she's already done it. She's like on page 48 now. You know, so she's moving and she's doing a really great job on it. But that's the reality of the game. You know what I mean? So
it is. It's just self-financing and, you know, just getting that financing together to continue the project. Yeah, and it is one other thing. I am working on something that hopefully by mid-August will be announced.
So you're gonna announce it on my show, right?
Listen, I'll be more than happy to.
So mid-August, is that when EternalCon is on?
Mid-August. No, they're like the first weekend.
Yeah, they're the first week. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it'll probably be a
so
week
you heard it
after
here.
that.
We're gonna get the first scoop. All right, don't give it to anybody else. No more. You're gonna give it to the Craze. All right.
No problem. Well, I do have my own podcast. I might get a little bit out there on that one. But I'll definitely let you know. You know, maybe we could do a sync up and you can do it.
There you go. We could do a simulcast. There you go.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah,
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
So, so what else what else can they get from your campaign? So you have multiple covers.
Right. We have okay. Well, we have the 2 issues, right? Issues 3 and 4. We have issues 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you want to get all 4 issues, you got that. You got these 2. You have the alternative covers. You have virgin covers. We have silver foil covers. We have sketch covers. And what those, they're obviously blank covers. And then Daphne does a sketch on them. So, and you get both covers. So you get issues 3 and 4 like that.
What's a virgin cover? Because I'm just dumb.
Virgin, it's this. It's this without the trade dress. So you don't have this, and you don't have the logo, and you don't have the
without the branding.
Right. Without
So it's
the
just it's just the cover itself.
It's just the
The
cover
art.
itself.
Okay.
Just the art. So that's what we call virgin cover.
Yeah, I learn something new every day.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
There you go. See, I don't just give it to Johnny; I give it to myself too. But go ahead.
So, and then we also have, we have like an ultimate book level. If you want to get everything that I've ever done on this, that's available. Because I do have 3 or 4 of the prose books that are out of print. Eventually, I have to get those back in print.
And what does the ultimate book level encompass?
Woof. So we have
like,
these
woof.
4 issues.
Like, sit back, ladies and germs. Here it comes.
Yeah, exactly. So it has these 4 books. It has the Clive cycle of stories, which is 9 books. It has what is it? Passing Queens and Making Homes, which is another 8 books. It has Fallen Gods, which is another 4 issues, and then there's another 1 shot in there. There's 2 hardcovers and about 3 chapbooks that I've released, which is prose, and another 3 prose books.
What is the shipping on that?
In the US is not that bad, but I've shipped it to France, and that was like $65.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just to ship it.
You want to hear a story? I'm blowing myself up on this podcast. I feel like an idiot. That's how. Yeah. So. I can't believe I'm sharing this story. Anyway, so you ever seen John Leno when they ask people in the streets questions and they don't even know the hell they're saying. They're like, when they'll say like, who is the 13th president, and they were like, and they were like McDonald's. They'll say the dumbest things. Well, when I got the order from Hawaii, right. I'm on USPS and and I'm adding international. And it's like you mean Hawaii, US? It's like, oh, that's right. Isn't it one of the?
Yeah.
So for a minute, I was like, oh, I lost my mind. Yeah. So I became one of those people that should have been on Jay Leno. It was horrible, horrible.
There you go.
I forgot it was part of us.
Yeah, I mean, I have a friend that lives out there. And like, whenever I ship stuff to her, it's like, depending on how I ship it, it'll take forever.
Really?
It'll be like, okay, 2 weeks. If I send it priority, it'll get there faster.
Yeah. This person paid for priority.
Yeah. So they get there 3 or 4 days. But if if you go for one of the cheaper options, 2 weeks later, they say, oh, I finally got it. So
the guy in Puerto Rico paid for first class. He got it in 5 business days.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, that was pretty dope. So that's pretty dope. So I mean that mega package, that tier is what's that?
And they're like $265.
Nice.
Yeah, that has like I said, that's the whole shebang right there.
And has that moved before?
Well, like I said, I have 2 currently, and then the campaign prior to this one, I had 3 of them.
Nice.
So and what's funny, like I said, when I did that prior campaign, it wasn't there. I didn't have it, and then someone had requested for me to put it on, and I put it on, and I was like, okay, boom, there it is. So and so yeah.
What happened?
No, it's just something I saw. Somebody sent me, so it's always fun. But yeah, they had sent me that. They made that request, and I just put it up, and I put it up for 3.
Right.
And all 3 of them popped, so that was cool.
Nice.
So yeah, if you want to get all the Oswalds over there, I got my my hard enamel pin.
That pin is crazy.
And the thing with like I said, for all the physical backers of 41 to get these things, right? Is getting all this stuff.
What made you decide to do a coaster?
You know what's funny? When I first saw it, I was like, that's not gonna. Right? And that's how it was. I was like, and then I was like, I had the image, and I love the image that's on it, right? And I said, you know what? Let me just try it. So I put it on there, and when I got it back, I was like, oh, this came out really nice. So so it's one of those things. Sometimes you just have to take a punt at it, and you just see what happens,
Yeah,
And that's
you never
literally
know
what that was.
You never know until you do.
Yeah. So but what is it? Our good friend Mr. David Cules.
Yes.
I'm trying to get him back in the game. I sent him a short story.
Yeah, his work is so fantastic, bro. Like his was one of the variant covers of issue 0. What I love about he did me a solid. He knows I was a big fan of Sam and Twitch,
right?
From Spawn, and so he did me Sam and Twitch his version.
Right.
I have that bad boy in it, and then he did that diabolical egomaniac overlord nemesis poo poo from Disney in my toilet. So
nice.
and he killed it. I mean, his art styles when his version of Rush from Rush 5377 yo, George, if you're listening to this, you need to have David's version of your Rush as a variant cover, man. Because when you do that campaign, you need to do that as a campaign. But he's just fantastic. I mean, can you get him in the game? Is he gonna do it?
Yeah, he's gonna. Well, he asked for it.
Really?
So, yeah. Because there's an anthology that's starting to come out from Arrow Comics, the Indie Vault Revolt by Randy Zimmerman.
Right.
And I've already put in one short in there for Oswald. And then I was talking to Dave literally 2 years ago, the last time I saw him, in the meat space, right, when I went up to Vegas. And we had talked about it, and I have a character called Dauphin, and he eventually appears in the Oswald Chronicles. But I had done spin-off stories with this character, and he's a gnome, and he's a warrior, and all this jazz. So we're doing a zombie undead, Dauphin story.
That's up his alley.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a short. It's gonna be like anywhere from 6 to 8 pages, depending on how he wants to lay it out. And it's gonna go. Once it's done, we're gonna put it. I'll talk to Randy, and we'll get that in Indie Vault Revolt, and that'll go in that anthology. So that'll be cool.
Nice, yeah. I mean, he's an enigma, but he's talented. But I just felt he just wasn't. I don't know if he lacked the confidence because he was skilled.
He is very skilled.
He's so freaking talented. I mean, I was always in awe by his work, but he just didn't push it. You know what I mean? He could have been making. I wanted to get him into galleries, bro, and he got cold feet, and that's the reason why I didn't. Remember the time we were talking about representing and all that stuff? So I was going to go and he was my first, and I scheduled all these meetings at Licensing Expo to try to get him some license deals and get him some, and he walked out on me. He didn't want to go through with it, and so that left a bad taste in my mouth. So I was like, I'm not doing this. And but he was so talented, and it's like,
Yeah, he is talented.
Yes, I mean the way he plays with blacks, the inks, and it's just like what?
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah. But he's his own man. He does his thing.
Yeah.
And listen, the only thing, like I said, for myself, we'll go through it. We'll do the story. We'll put it out there.
That's
if
hot.
he wants to do more. And here's the thing. I mean, because the thing with Dave is he likes to do stuff for fun, the same way I do stuff.
Yes.
We just do it for fun. And I think that's might have been the thing. Is just like if it's not fun for him, if he considers it work, then then maybe he'll walk away from it.
Yeah, like he had that 1,000 leagues to something, to purgatory or something.
Oh yeah. That's a fantastic story.
Yeah.
I want to see him finish that.
Yeah.
Because he says I think he said he had it all illustrated out, and it was like 300 or 400 pages. He just has to ink it.
Yeah, I have it in the anthology that we did for the New York Comic Con in the after party. Mm-hmm. So he did a short in there. That was the only thing I think that was ever printed.
Right. Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah. there will be more
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Mr. Q.
Oh,
Trust me,
man.
he's not done.
Well, I didn't know he was drawing again. Sheesh, I get him
He
doing.
never stopped. He never stopped.
All I see him ever post is his drinks and his food.
Right. Yeah, but no, he has his stuff, bro. Like I'm telling you, like I said, I went to go see him a couple years ago before, like literally 4 months before the pandemic thing happened. Right. So it was 2019, right? October, right? And he has stuff that he's done. He just doesn't show it. You know, he'll go to conventions. That's where he'll show it. He was doing like a lot of small shows. He did some gallery stuff out there.
Yeah.
Out in Vegas. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
good for him.
He has. There's a couple. What I found awesome was that there's a couple of comic shops they took me to, where they have racks of stuff where it's like local artists. You know?
Nice.
So I think he was selling prints out of one store, you know, and then he would like the guy, I guess the guy who runs his store, he was like, oh, you sold some stuff, and then he, you know, Davis, he doesn't take the money. He goes, he's, oh, good, let me get some books.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he still collects, right?
Of course.
Yeah,
man,
I mean,
that dude, yo,
he has
he
long
has-
boxes upon long boxes. Now with that
Oh.
big house of his, he probably has like every room full of boxes.
No, he had a room that was awesome. It was practically from floor to ceiling, bookcases, and they were all filled with indie comics, like all the walls. Damn. Bro, it was glorious. It was glorious. I was like, yes, yes, I love it.
Yo, Arroyos Compollos, what's up? Where's Comports in his house, Anibal? Yeah, I mean, I shit. You know, if I do licensing, I want to hit him up. I'm just like, yo, I'm in your town because it's in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I can't hang with the drink. And I don't. Yeah, he'll drink me under the table. I mean, I'll have one drink and I'm good.
Well, I don't drink at all. I went to all the bars with him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't drink alcohol. I'll be like, give me a Coke, thank you. You know, we just hang out. That's it.
Yeah.
Those some crazy stories. I remember all our trips to San Diego.
Yeah,
They were crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see what he produces.
Yeah. You know, I mean, me too. See, I sent it to him like 3 or 4 days ago, so you know,
Okay.
it'll be a bit before anything comes of it. So but
That's pretty.
Dave is awesome. So
How many
we'll make it
pages?
happen. Well, like I said, 68 pages. It's short.
Ah, yeah. So he should be able to
Yeah.
knock that out in a week or two. The way he draws.
Mhm. Yeah, the way he draws it.
Yeah, because he kills it.
Mm-hmm. You know, and I gave him some crazy stuff. You know, we'll see if he's game for it. We'll see. I think he will be.
We're talking about the wolf.
The wolf.
The wolf in sheep's clothing. Yes.
El Lobo, as I like to refer to. Yes.
Yes. I remember when I first saw him I met him at the Big Apple. And I met him first. George met him first, and then we started talking, and I just became a fan of his art style, and then we just hit it off from that point on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, man. Like I met him in the early 90s, 92, 93,
Right.
94, somewhere around that time, right? And he was working with Rich Buckler, and he was part of his crew. And I met him, I met Brian, I met a few other cats, right? And we just connected. We would see each other at shows and stuff. And then we had lost, like there's a period of maybe like 6 years, maybe a little bit longer, that I hadn't seen him. And I was doing a Madison Square Garden show, and I guess I was in an advertisement. I guess they put my name in there for some reason. I don't know, like I'm somebody. And he shows up, and he's like, "Yo," he's like, "You remember me?" I said, "Yeah, I remember you, bro." You know, we started talking or whatever, and then we exchanged numbers, and then after that, we started doing shows. So we were like, going to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
We were doing Philly. I think like one of the last shows we did together before he moved out to out west was we went to Kentucky.
Kentucky.
What
was out there?
Some show. I don't even remember, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember getting the phone call from him. He was like, "Yo, want to go to Kentucky?" And I was like, "Not really." But I was like, my thing is this, I'm like, how many days is that going to keep me out of work? 4 days? Yeah, let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he's the one who put us on to you.
Yeah.
That's how we met.
Yeah. That's how we met. Yeah. You know, so I mean that's the thing, you know, and then we were, you know how it is, man. You take the road trips, you have fun, you know, just start talking.
Oh yeah, we had crazy fun. I mean, he's hilarious. He's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, the stories. That freaking guy. I had to share a bed with him. It's not a good experience, but it's not a good experience. He's hilarious, and he loves to party. He loves, and then he loves to put himself in situations that I'm not willing to do, and so I used to have to fake myself being sick in order to get out of it. And he's crazy. The wolf is nuts.
Yeah.
You gotta love him. I shared a story once. We were at Pittsburgh Comic-Con. We were at the penthouse where all of the vendors, the Comic-Con hosted after party on the penthouse, and so they had like a billiard room. And the liquor room and all that stuff, whatever. And I get off the elevator and he's arguing with somebody, and they look like they're going to fight.
Nice.
So, he's my boy. So I go slowly walking behind the guy, because I was like, if this is gonna happen, he's drunk. I'm not gonna let him get hurt. So I'm gonna have to yoke the guy. So I'm going right behind. I'm right behind, and then I realized that they were just playing. And they almost yoked somebody, and they were playing. I was like, "That damn David!" But they were loud and all that stuff. That was a fun stuff, man. Oh yeah, buddy.
No, man. Yeah.
Yes, and him in Tijuana with the guys, I just didn't go. I couldn't do it. They wanted to go at night. I was like, nah.
I know.
I was like, no, my stomach. I said, I don't feel good. I went back up to my room. They went on the trolley. I was like, I'm never gonna see those guys again.
Well, when they went, it was still relatively safe. Now it's not safe, but when they went, it was still relatively safe.
Yeah, I value my life. I was like, nah, I'll stay here. I think it was like, I don't know if it was Whataburger or In-N-Out. It was one of the burgers, and it might have been In-N-Out. And I took that up to my room, and I was like, yep. Forget that.
No. Yeah, I remember when we were the last trip I went, right? So we're out there. We went. It was a crazy trip. We got off the plane. From the plane, we hung out at his place till we were just up talking till 3 a.m, right? Next morning, we get up at 7. We go out to the Grand Canyon, spend all day at the Grand Canyon, come back to we hit a few bookstores, right? Go back to his joint. We watched, I guess it was Justice League, because I'd never seen it at that point. Watched the movie, okay, fine. Went to bed, slept till about 3 a.m, woke up, got on a bus, went to California, right? So we went to LA, so we're on a bus, we get there about 8 a.m. or something. We go to, me and the other David, we go to Universal Studios. We're there all day, come out, he picks us up. We go out to Anaheim, right? Where Disneyland is at. And then we find this, the other David wanted to go to, I don't know, Pizza Hut. Right? And I was like, why the hell do you want to go to Pizza Hut? So you can get Pizza Hut anywhere.
Right.
Bro, we're passing by this, this restaurant thing, and it was like taco something or whatever. It was just, it was like a mom and pop business. So let's go eat here. And he was just like, and he's like, how do you know the food is gonna be good here? I was like, well, this place, I can see the type of area it is. If they don't make good food here, they're gonna kill them. So we go in there and we each get a burrito, right? And then we sit down and we start eating. And I don't know how long we were eating for. And I just look at Dave and I was just like, do you like it? And he was like, bro, we've been sitting here for 15 minutes just eating. We all like it. We didn't say a word because it really was good. I was just like, yeah, and I was just told him, I said, sometimes you got to take, you got to take these risks.
Yeah, you don't go somewhere else to have the same thing you get in your neighborhood. It's like, you do something different.
Exactly.
Yeah. So any last minute messages you want to send out to anybody, everybody who's watching?
No, listen. I mean, the one thing I always say to everybody: go read indie comics, especially go read my indie comics. Go read Sam's indie comics. Read indie comics. Because listen, the big boys, they're always going to be there. They're always going to do their thing. God bless or whatever for them. But indie creators, we need as much help as we can get, because we're trying to unique voices, just trying to do unique things, just doing things a little differently. And you're not going to get this stuff from anybody else but us. So, so go check out. We were just passing through the Oswald Chronicles, currently on Kickstarter. Thank you.
Outstanding. Thank you, JD Calderon. And you're going to be on another show at 9 p.m. What show are you going to be on?
It's a Sims show. Damn, I'm a horrible guest.
I'm trying to plug, a compadre out there.
Yeah, I know. It's damn, you'd like put me on the spot, sir.
I didn't know you weren't gonna know.
I'm just terrible at this. Hooligans Alley. Hooligans Alley Hangout. That's where I'm gonna be.
There you go.
In the next 20 minutes.
So if you want to if you missed this and you want to find out more about the Oswald Chronicles and the fantastic world that JD Calderon has built, go over to the Hooligans and hang out with those guys, and you'll learn more. But the link is in the subject, and it's also in the chat. So hit that link and go over and subscribe today. He has 16 days to go. It's a fantastic story, and you're welcome back anytime, buddy.
Thank you. Let me know when your campaign launches. You can come on my show.
July 6th it launches, but I want to come on your show, just you and me.
Oh yeah, we can definitely do the one-on-one.
Yeah, not the squad.
Not the squad.
Not the squad. I never get a word in. It's like, oh, by the way, what were you here for? Forget it.
Well, I've done a few of those where it's just where we're just focused on like I'm doing one this Sunday, and I'm only doing it for an hour, and I only got it's myself and 3 other guests, and we're just focused on campaigns. So it's just gonna be for that 1 hour. It says, give it to me, and it's just it's just gonna be that. Sometimes I've done a few of those, and I find those to be fun. So if I bring you back on a Sunday, I'll be sure to be one of those shows.
Outstanding. All right, brother. I know you have to go and prepare, so go get your drink. And what's up, Biff Bam Boom? And I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon, Sam. And let George know he needs to come on my Sunday show.
Yeah, I know, George. George's been dodging you. He's been dodging you.
He's been ducking me hard, too. I think he's seen the show. He's scared. Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
George likes his routines. And, he doesn't like to go beyond his routines. He's a Tuesday, Wednesday. Anything out of that, it's like out of his comfort zone. Good luck with that one.
I know, but we have to get him into the discomfort zone.
Yeah, I know.
But I'll wait till his campaign is coming on. They'll be like, I might be able to get you a few sales. You never know.
There you go. Exactly. I mean, when I was on your show, I got a couple of pledges. So
right, that's the thing I tell people is that you never know where it's gonna come from.
Yes, absolutely. All right.
So I'm gonna dip out. Sam, thank you for having me.
Anytime. You know that. You guys never have to ask. Hey, look, I made the adjustment for you. You got the VIP treatment, homeboy.
I know. I appreciate it. But like I said, when come your next campaign, let me know. We'll do a one-on-one. We'll get you up there, brother.
I'm ready.
All right, bro.
All right. So if you want to follow up JD Calderon, go over to the Hooligans.
Yep.
The Hooligans Hangout. All right, brother.
Right. All right.
So that was JD Calderon. Again, his campaign is the Oswald Chronicles. He has 16 days to go. It's on fire. Right now he's at 56 backers. He's already gone beyond his goal, but let's see how far we can get it. Can we break the 3,000 mark on his show, on his campaign? Also, again, just want to reiterate to all you guys out there who backed us for Catch the Crazies. The books have come in. So we have the homage cover with the certificate of authenticity, the standard cover with the bus. We got the super backer card that came in that all the super backers are going to get. And we're just waiting on the gold, holofoil, and silver that should be arriving in a few days, hopefully by Monday. I thought it was going to be here this week, but obviously the printer's having a problem getting to everybody's books. That's what he told me. So, again, Forbidden, the link in the summary. Hit that sign up for the Forbidden Kickstarter launch. We launch on July 6th. We will go live July 6th. It's on
Tuesday night. We're going to go live to launch our Kickstarter campaign. We hope that you join us that night. It's crazy. There's a lot of great incentives for this. If you missed the Indiegogo campaign for issue number 0, you want to be here for the Kickstarter for issue number 1. You can get 1 and 0.
There's variant covers. There's trading cards. There's crazy stuff. So, and it's an amazing story. So hit the link below and sign up today. Get on that waiting list. Be the first ones to pledge. And again, July 17th and 18th, I'll be at ZoloCon in PA with Jonathan the Psycho Cyphax. We're hitting the road together, going over to ZoloCon. So join us there. And first week in August, we'll be at EternalCon in Long Island. So you get to meet us there as well. So that's going to be kind of fun. And we have the countdown to 300. Episode 300 is going to be fire. So we want 30 of you in the chat room. We're going to have 3 raffles if we have 30 people in the chat room to celebrate our 300th episode. And we also have the countdown to 1,000. So if we get to 1,000 backers September 9th this year, then one lucky person, one of the backers, because everybody's going to be entered into a raffle, one of you will win a $100 gift card, a Cast of Craze sweater, and 3 graphic novels, Cast of Crazies, Rush 5377, and There's an Alien in My Toilet, and you'll come on the show to talk about why you subscribe to our show, Cast of Craze. And don't forget, next Wednesday, this whole squad's going to be here for the first time ever. Jonathan, George, Anibal will all be in this studio, and we're going to have a party. It's going to be a party up in the studio, so it's going to be interesting. And we'll be live next Wednesday, 8 p.m. in the studio. It's going to be crazy. So with that said, I do want to say thank you, Krista. Thank you, Gilbert. Thank you, Anibal. Thank you, Daphne, for joining the show tonight. Thank you, Biff Bam Boom Comics. Don't worry, we're going to get you on the show. And I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera. I appreciate every single one of you. Again, sign up for that Kickstarter campaign. Link is below in the summary of this YouTube channel. And I hope to see you there. And I hope to see you. Hope that you back. Forbidden. I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera. There's no George the Dreamer Medina tonight. He's on a date night. And I am out.
It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy.
Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. I met him.
Say my name, right? This is what you were thinking? Oh, my.
He described me. He said, I'm the
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze on Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.